Success is nothing more than a few simple disciplines practiced every day, while failure is simply a few errors in judgment repeated daily. Let me ask you, what are you practicing every day? Because whether you realize it or not, your daily habits are shaping your future. Every choice, every action, every moment, it all adds up. So the question is, are you building the life you want, or are you letting it slip away? Let's talk about how to take charge and work on the things that truly matter. Number one, your mindset. Let's start with something super important, your mindset. I want to tell you right here and now that your mindset is the foundation of everything you'll do, everything you'll achieve, and the person you'll become. If you don't get your mindset right, it doesn't matter how many goals you set or how skilled you are, it'll be like building a house on sand. So let's break it down. What does mindset even mean? Simply put, it's the way you think about yourself, the world, and your place in it. It's how you approach challenges, opportunities, and even those tough, frustrating days when nothing seems to go right. Start with belief. Here's where it all begins. Do you believe in yourself? Let's be honest, sometimes we're our own worst critics. You might be telling yourself, I can't do this, or I'm not smart enough, or what if I fail? If you've ever caught yourself thinking that way, let me tell you something, you're not alone. Every single person wrestles with doubts. The difference between people who move forward and those who stay stuck is belief. But belief isn't some magical thing you either have or you don't. It's something you build. Start by reminding yourself of your wins, no matter how small they seem. Did you solve a problem at work last week? Did you help a friend or family member? Did you push yourself to do something uncomfortable? Those are wins, and they count. You've got to train your mind to focus on what you've done well instead of dwelling on what you haven't. Because here's the truth, if you believe you can, you'll find a way. If you believe you can't, you won't even try. Gratitude shifts your perspective now. Let's talk about gratitude. Why? Because gratitude has this incredible power to shift your mindset. Think about it. When you're focused on what's missing in your life, you feel stuck, don't you? But when you take even a few minutes to appreciate what's good, your health, your relationships, the opportunities you have, you start to feel lighter, more motivated. Here's a simple habit you can start today, every morning or every night. Take 5 minutes to write down 3 things you're grateful for. It doesn't have to be big stuff. It could be as simple as having a roof over your head or a good meal you enjoyed. Trust me, this isn't some cheesy exercise. It's a way to train your brain to look for the positive. Stop entertaining negativity. Let me ask you this. How do you deal with negative thoughts? Because they're going to pop up. It's part of being human. But the key is, you don't have to entertain them. You don't have to let them set up camp in your mind. Here's what I want you to try the next time you catch yourself thinking something like, I'm not good enough. Stop and ask yourself, is this thought true? Is it helpful most of the time? It's not. And if it's not true and it's not helpful, it doesn't belong in your head. Replace it with something better, like I'm learning or I'm improving. And here's another thing, limit your exposure to negativity from outside sources too. If you're hanging around people who constantly complain or bring you down, it's going to affect you. I'm not saying you need to cut people out of your life entirely, but you do need to set boundaries. Spend more time with people who uplift you, encourage you, and challenge you to grow. Discipline strengthens your mindset. Let's talk discipline. A strong mindset isn't just about thinking positive, it's about taking action, even when you don't feel like it. Think about the days when you wake up and don't want to do anything productive. Those are the days that test your mindset the most. Here's what you do. Remind yourself why you're doing what you're doing. Maybe you're working hard to provide for your family, or maybe you've got big dreams you're chasing. Whatever it is, keep that reason front and center. Then, take one small step. It doesn't have to be huge, just something to get the momentum going. You see, every time you push through resistance, you're training your mind to be stronger than your excuses. That's what discipline is. It's not about being perfect every day. It's about showing up, even when it's hard. Reframe challenges as opportunities now. Let's get real. Life is going to throw challenges your way. That's a guarantee. But here's the thing, how you handle those challenges is what defines you. Instead of seeing them as obstacles, start looking at them as opportunities. Think about the last time you faced a tough situation. Maybe it was a setback at work or a personal struggle. Did you learn something from it? Did it make you stronger or more resilient? Challenges have a way of teaching us lessons we wouldn't learn otherwise. So the next time you're up against something tough, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I grow? It's not always easy to think that way in the moment, but with practice, it becomes second nature. Feed your mind every day. Finally, let's talk about what you're feeding your mind. Just like your body needs good food to stay healthy, your mind needs good input to stay sharp. What are you reading? What are you watching? Who are you listening to? If you're constantly consuming negative news or hanging around people who drag you down, it's going to weigh on your mindset. Instead, fill your mind with things that inspire you. Read books that challenge your thinking. Listen to podcasts or talks from people who've been where you want to go. And here's an important one: learn to be intentional with your time online. Social media can be a great tool, but it can also be a major source of comparison and negativity. Use it wisely, follow accounts that motivate you and unfollow the ones that don't add value to your life. Take ownership. At the end of the day, your mindset is your responsibility. No one else can build it for you. But the good news is you have the power to change it, starting right now. It's not about being perfect, it's about progress. It's about taking small steps every day to strengthen your belief, your gratitude, your discipline, and your perspective. So let me ask you, what are you going to do today to work on your mindset? Are you going to challenge that negative thought? Are you going to focus on gratitude? Are you going to take one small step toward your goals? Number 2, your goals. Goals are not just a list of things you hope to accomplish someday. They are the compass that guides your daily decisions and actions. Without goals, it's easy to drift through life, feeling busy but not productive, and wondering why you're not making progress. But when you have clear, actionable goals, your energy becomes focused, and every step you take has a purpose. The first step in working on your goals every day is understanding why they matter so much. Goals give you direction. They are the destination on the map of your life. Imagine you're driving a car with no destination in mind. You might end up somewhere interesting by accident, but most likely you'll waste a lot of time and fuel wandering aimlessly. Goals help you avoid that. They ensure your time, effort, and energy are all moving you closer to something meaningful. But goals do more than guide you. They give you a reason to get out of bed in the morning. Think about it. When you wake up and know exactly what you're working toward, it gives you a sense of purpose. Purpose fuels motivation, and motivation keeps you going, even when the path gets tough. Life will throw challenges your way, no question about it. But if your goals are clear and meaningful, you'll find the strength to keep pushing forward. So how do you set goals in a way that ensures you'll follow through on them? The first thing is clarity. You have to know exactly what you want. I want to be successful is not a goal, it's a vague idea. What does success look like to you? Is it earning a specific amount of money? Starting a business? Building strong relationships? Living a healthier life? It's specific. The clearer your goals, the easier it will be to create a plan to achieve them. Writing your goals down is another critical step. There's something powerful about putting pen to paper. When you write your goals, they become more than just thoughts in your head, they become commitments. It's like signing a contract with yourself. And here's the thing, don't just write them once and forget about them. Keep your goals somewhere visible. Look at them every day. Remind yourself of what you're working toward. This daily reminder keeps your goals at the forefront of your mind, helping you make decisions that align with them. Now, let's talk about how to structure your goals so they're not just dreams but achievable targets. You've probably heard of SMART goals: specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. This framework works because it breaks big, abstract ideas into concrete, actionable steps. Let's break it down in simple terms. Specific means knowing exactly what you want. Measurable means you can track your progress. Achievable means it's challenging but realistic. Relevant means it aligns with your values and priorities. And time-bound means you set a deadline to keep yourself accountable. For example, instead of saying, I want to get fit, you could set a SMART goal like I want to lose 10 pounds in the next 3 months. By exercising 3 times a week and eating healthier meals that's clear, actionable, and trackable. When you create goals like this, you set yourself up for success because you know exactly what steps to take. Breaking your goals into smaller steps is another powerful habit. Big goals can feel overwhelming, but when you divide them into manageable tasks, they become more achievable. Let's say your goal is to write a book. That's a big project, but you can break it down into smaller steps like outlining the chapters, writing 1 page a day, and editing 1 section at a time. Each small step you complete builds momentum, and before you know it, you're making significant progress. It's also essential to stay flexible with your goals. Life doesn't always go according to plan, and sometimes you'll need to adjust your goals or your approach. That's not failure, it's adaptation. Maybe you realize that a goal you set 6 months ago no longer aligns with your values or priorities. That's okay. Adjust it. Staying flexible ensures your goals remain relevant and meaningful. Visualization is another tool that can help you stay connected to your goals. Take a few minutes every day to imagine yourself achieving your goals. Picture what it looks like, feels like, and even sounds like. Visualization is not just wishful thinking, it's a way to train your mind to believe in your ability to succeed. When you can see it in your mind, it becomes easier to work toward it in reality. Tracking your progress is equally important. Set regular check-ins with yourself to see how far you've come. Are you on track to meet your deadline? Are there areas where you need to improve or refocus your efforts? Tracking progress helps you stay accountable and allows you to celebrate your milestones along the way. Celebrating small wins keeps you motivated and reminds you that you're capable of achieving even bigger things. Finally, remember that goals are not just about the destination, they're about the journey. Every step you take toward your goals teaches you something valuable. It's not just about reaching the finish line. It's about becoming the kind of person who sets goals, works hard, and follows through. And once you achieve one goal, set another. Keep growing, keep challenging yourself, and keep striving for more. Working on your goals every day is one of the best investments you can make in yourself. It's a daily commitment to becoming the best version of yourself and creating the life you truly want. So start today. Write down your goals, make a plan, and take that first step. Remember, your goals are the roadmap to your dreams, and the only way to get there is to keep moving forward. Number 3, your skills. Skills are the foundation of your success in life. They are what enable you to solve problems, create opportunities, and bring value to yourself and others. Working on your skills every day is not just a good idea, it's essential. The world is constantly changing, and the only way to stay relevant and competitive is to keep improving. Think about it this way: every skill you develop adds another tool to your toolbox. When opportunities come knocking, the person with the right tools, the right skills will always have the upper hand. Whether you're looking to advance in your career, start a business, or simply become better at what you do, building your skills is the key. The first step in working on your skills is identifying the ones that matter most. Start by asking yourself, what do I want to achieve? And what skills do I need to get there? If your goal is to become a leader, you might need to work on communication, decision-making, and conflict resolution. If you're aiming to succeed in a technical field, you'll need to master the relevant technical skills. Knowing what to focus on helps you avoid wasting time and energy on things that don't align with your goals. Once you've identified the skills you need, the next step is to assess where you stand right now. Be honest with yourself. What are you good at? Where do you struggle? This self-assessment is crucial because it gives you a clear starting point. It's not about beating yourself up over what you don't know, it's about recognizing where you can grow. Now, let's talk about the process of building skills. It starts with learning. There are so many ways to learn today. You can take courses online or in person, read books, watch tutorials, or even find a mentor. The key is to approach learning with curiosity and commitment. Don't just consume information, practice applying it. If you're learning a new language, speak it as much as possible. If you're learning to code, write programs every day. Skills grow through repetition and real-world use. One thing to remember is that building skills takes time. You won't master anything overnight, and that's okay. Progress, not perfection, is the goal. Commit to improving just a little bit every day. Over time, those small, consistent efforts add up to something extraordinary. Think of it like planting a tree. You water it a little every day, and before you know it, it's grown tall and strong. It's also important to seek feedback as you're developing your skills. Feedback helps you understand what you're doing well and where you can improve. Don't shy away from constructive criticism. It's one of the most valuable tools for growth. Find people who are skilled in the areas you're working on and ask for their input. Be open to learning from their experience. Another powerful way to work on your skills is by teaching others. When you teach, you deepen your own understanding and reinforce what you've learned. It forces you to think critically about the subject and explain it in simple terms. Plus, helping others develop their skills is incredibly rewarding. It's a win-win. One thing I want to stress is the importance of staying adaptable. The world is changing faster than ever, and the skills that are valuable today might not be as relevant tomorrow. That's why it's crucial to adopt a mindset of lifelong learning. Stay curious. Keep exploring new areas. Don't get too comfortable with what you already know. The moment you stop growing, you start falling behind. At the same time, don't neglect your foundational skills, the ones that apply in almost every situation. Skills like communication, problem solving, and critical thinking are valuable no matter what you do. They are the building blocks of success in any field. Make it a point to refine these skills regularly. Let's talk about effort. Developing skills is not always easy. It requires patience, discipline, and a willingness to step out of your comfort zone. You might fail a few times along the way, and that's okay. Failure is just another word for learning. Every mistake you make teaches you something valuable. Embrace the process and don't be afraid to push yourself. Another thing to keep in mind is the importance of staying inspired. Surround yourself with people who challenge you and encourage you to grow. Read about others who have mastered the skills you're working on. Watch videos, listen to podcasts, and immerse yourself in environments that fuel your passion for growth. Finally, remember to celebrate your progress. Every new skill you master is a step forward. It's proof that you're capable of learning, growing, and achieving great things. Take pride in your efforts and use your successes as motivation to keep going. Working on your skills every day is an investment in yourself. It's about becoming better, not just for your own benefit, but so you can make a greater impact in the world. So start today. Pick one skill, commit to it, and give it your best effort. Over time, you'll be amazed at what you can accomplish. Number 4, your time management. Time is the one thing we all have in common. No matter who you are, you get the same 24 hours in a day. The question is, how are you using them? Are you making your time count, or are you letting it slip through your fingers? There's a quote I love by Benjamin Franklin: "Do not squander time, for that is the stuff life is made of." That's powerful, isn't it? Your life is built on how you spend each moment, and managing your time well is one of the most important skills you can develop. The first step to managing your time effectively is understanding where it goes. Take a day or two to track how you're spending your time. Be honest with yourself. How much time are you spending on meaningful work? How much is being lost to distractions? Once you know where your time is going, you can start to make changes. Next, set priorities. Not everything on your to-do list is equally important. Some tasks move you closer to your goals, while others are just busy work. Focus on what matters most. Use the 80/20 rule. Minus 80% of your results come from 20% of your efforts. Identify the key tasks that have the biggest impact and tackle those first. Planning is another critical part of time management. Start each day with a clear plan. Write down the 3 most important things you need to accomplish and commit to getting them done. Don't let the day control you, you control the day. A well-structured plan gives you clarity and keeps you on track. One thing I often say is, learn to say no, you can't do everything, and you shouldn't try. Every time you say yes to something unimportant, you're saying no to something that truly matters. Guard your time like it's your most valuable asset, because it is. Let's talk about distractions. We live in a world full of them: social media, endless notifications, and a million little things that steal our attention. If you want to manage your time effectively, you have to learn to focus. Turn off notifications when you're working. Create an environment that supports deep work. Discipline your mind to stay on task. Now, here's something most people overlook: breaks. You might think working non-stop is the key to getting more done, but it's not. Your brain needs rest to perform at its best. Schedule regular breaks to recharge. Even a 10-minute walk can do wonders for your energy and focus. Time management isn't just about work, it's about balance. Make time for the things that matter outside of work: your health, your relationships, and your personal growth. Success isn't just about achieving goals, it's about living a well-rounded life. Remember, you're not just managing time for the sake of productivity, you're managing it to create a life you're proud of. Another tool that can transform your time management is reflection. At the end of each day, take a few minutes to evaluate how you spent your time. What went well? What could you improve? Reflection helps you learn from your experiences and adjust your approach moving forward. And let's not forget about the power of routine. Successful people often have routines that set them up for success. A morning routine can help you start the day with energy and focus. An evening routine can help you wind down and prepare for the next day. Routines simplify decision-making and create consistency. Here's one more thing: don't aim for perfection. Time management isn't about squeezing every second out of the day or doing everything flawlessly. It's about progress. It's about making small, intentional changes that add up over time. Think about this: every hour you waste is an hour you'll never get back. But every hour you spend wisely is an investment in your future. It's a step toward your goals. It's a building block for the life you want to create. So how do you start improving your time management today? Begin with one small change. Maybe it's planning your day the night before. Maybe it's eliminating one distraction. Maybe it's saying no to something that doesn't align with your priorities. Start small, but start now. Remember, time is your greatest gift. How you use it defines the life you'll live. So make it count. Number 5, your work ethic. Your work ethic isn't just about how hard you work, it's about the attitude and discipline you bring to the table every single day. It's about showing up, giving your best, and doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. The price of success is hard work, dedication to the job at hand, and the determination that whether we win or lose, we have applied the best of ourselves to the task at hand. Think about that for a moment: applying the best of yourself to what you do. That's what separates average from excellent. The first thing about work ethic is showing up consistently. Consistency builds trust with yourself and with others. When you commit to doing something, whether it's a job, a project, or even a personal goal, show up every single day. Success isn't about a single big moment, it's about the small, consistent efforts you put in over time. Think of it like this: success isn't luck, it's preparation meeting opportunity. And preparation comes from putting in the work every day, even when nobody's watching. Another key to building a strong work ethic is doing things the right way. Don't cut corners. Don't settle for good enough. Put in the effort to do things to the best of your ability. When you take pride in your work, it shows not just in the results, but in the way people perceive and trust you. Here's a tough truth sometimes. Hard work means doing things you don't want to do. It means tackling the boring, challenging, or repetitive tasks because they're necessary. It's easy to stay motivated when the work is exciting, but your work ethic is tested when the work is tough. That's where discipline comes in. Discipline is the ability to do what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. Jim Rohn often said, discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. Without it, even the best intentions fall flat. The good news is that discipline can be built step by step. Start small. Commit to a task. Complete it. And then build on that success. Now let's talk about ownership. People with a strong work ethic take ownership of their work. That means taking responsibility, not making excuses. If something goes wrong, own it. If you fall short, own it. Taking ownership doesn't make you weak, it makes you reliable. And reliability is a cornerstone of success. Here's something else to think about. The attitude you bring to your work matters just as much as the work itself. A positive attitude, even when things are hard, makes all the difference. It doesn't mean you ignore problems, it means you approach them with the mindset that they can be solved. A strong work ethic combined with a can-do attitude is unstoppable. Let me ask you this, how do you feel about your work? If you're not passionate about what you do, it's going to be harder to sustain a strong work ethic. Now, I'm not saying every job or task you do will set your soul on fire, but you can find purpose in the work you do by connecting it to your larger goals or values. Even if the task seems small or insignificant, approach it as if it's important, because it is. Every task, no matter how small, is a step towards something bigger. Here's another quote to reflect on: hard work beats talent. When talent doesn't work hard, talent is great, but it's not enough. The most talented people still need a solid work ethic to succeed. The good news is that anyone can cultivate a strong work ethic. It's not about where you start, it's about what you're willing to put in. Another aspect of work ethic is reliability. Be the person people can count on. When you say you're going to do something, do it. Meet deadlines, follow through on commitments. Reliability builds your reputation, and your reputation is one of your greatest assets. One of the biggest enemies of a strong work ethic is procrastination. We've all been there, putting off something that needs to be done. But procrastination steals your time and adds stress. The best way to beat procrastination is to take action. No matter how small, start with one step. Once you start, momentum will carry you forward. Also, let's talk about effort. Effort doesn't mean working yourself into exhaustion, it means putting in focused, intentional energy. It's about working smart as well as working hard. Prioritize tasks. Focus on what really matters. Effort without direction is like running on a treadmill, lots of movement, but no progress. At the end of the day, your work ethic is a reflection of who you are. It shows your values, your discipline, and your commitment to your goals. And it's something you can be proud of. As we wrap this up, I want to leave you with this thought: your work ethic isn't just about achieving goals. It's about becoming the kind of person who's capable of achieving them. It's about growth, perseverance, and pride in what you do. Every day, you're building habits that shape your future. So ask yourself, how can you show up better today? What can you do right now to strengthen your work ethic? Start there. Remember, small, consistent steps lead to big results. Keep going. You're capable of more than you think. Number 6, work on your passion. Working on your passion isn't just about chasing dreams, it's about discovering the things that make life fulfilling and then finding ways to bring them into your daily routine. Here's the truth: passion is a powerful motivator. When you care deeply about something, you don't need anyone to push you, you're naturally drawn to it. Think about it. What are the things you could talk about for hours? What are the activities that make you lose track of time? Those are clues to your passion. It's not always obvious at first, and sometimes you need to explore and experiment to find it. But it's worth the effort, because your passion is what lights the fire inside you. Choose a job you love, and you'll never work a day in your life. This quote, often attributed to Confucius, reminds us of the joy that comes from aligning our work with our passions. Imagine waking up every day excited about what you're going to do. That's the kind of life working on your passion can create. But let's make something clear: passion isn't always glamorous. Even when you're pursuing what you love, there will be challenges. There will be hard days and moments of doubt. Passion doesn't mean every step is easy, it means the journey is worth it. That's why you have to work on your passion consistently. It's like a garden, you have to tend to it, nurture it, and give it attention. Now, you might be thinking, but I don't have time to work on my passion. Let me challenge you on that. If something truly matters to you, you'll make time for it. Start small. Dedicate even 10 or 15 minutes a day to it. Write, paint, code, cook, whatever it is that fuels your soul. The key is to take action, no matter how small. Over time, those little moments add up. Sometimes people struggle to find their passion because they're waiting for some big hey moment. But here's the thing, passion often comes from doing, not thinking. You discover what you love by trying things out. Don't be afraid to step out of your comfort zone. Take a class, join a group, or dive into a new project. Every new experience is an opportunity to learn more about what excites and motivates you. One important thing to remember is that your passion doesn't have to be tied to your career. Some people are lucky enough to make a living doing what they love, but that's not the only way to live a passionate life. Your passion can be a hobby, a side hustle, or even a cause you care about. The point is to find a way to incorporate it into your life, whatever that looks like for you. Passion also has a way of energizing other areas of your life. When you're excited about something, it spills over into your relationships, your work, and your mindset. You start to see opportunities instead of obstacles. You become more creative, more focused, and more determined. That's the power of working on your passion. It lifts you up and pushes you forward. Here's another thing to think about. Passion isn't just about what makes you happy. It's about what gives your life meaning. It's about contributing to something bigger than yourself. Maybe your passion is helping others, solving problems, or creating beauty in the world. Whatever it is, it's unique to you and it's worth pursuing. One of the biggest barriers to working on your passion is fear. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of not being good enough. But let me tell you something, the only real failure is not trying. Every expert was once a beginner. Every successful person has faced setbacks. The difference is they didn't let fear stop them. They kept going, and so can you. Passion is energy. Feel the power that comes from focusing on what excites you. Oprah Winfrey's words remind us that passion isn't just an emotion, it's a force. When you focus on what excites you, you tap into a source of energy that can carry you through even the toughest times. Another thing to consider is how your passion aligns with your values and goals. When your passion is connected to something meaningful, it becomes even more powerful. Take some time to reflect on what truly matters to you. What kind of impact do you want to make? How can your passion help you achieve that? Answering these questions can give you clarity and direction. As you work on your passion, don't forget to celebrate your progress. Every step forward, no matter how small, is worth acknowledging. Progress fuels motivation, and motivation keeps you moving. Remember, this is your journey. It's not about comparing yourself to others or meeting someone else's expectations. It's about finding what brings you joy and fulfillment. And finally, share your passion with others. When you share what you love, you inspire and connect with people. You never know who might need to hear your story or who might share your enthusiasm. Passion is contagious. When you live with passion, you not only enrich your own life, but also inspire those around you. So let me ask you, what's one thing you can do today to work on your passion? Maybe it's picking up that guitar you haven't touched in years, signing up for that class you've been curious about, or volunteering for a cause that moves you. Whatever it is, start now. Don't wait for the perfect time, because the perfect time is today. Your passion is a gift. Use it, nurture it, and let it guide you toward a life filled with meaning and excitement. Remember, life isn't just about what you achieve, it's about the joy, growth, and purpose you find along the way. Start working on your passion today, and watch how it transforms your life. Number 7, practice self-reflection. It's one of the most powerful tools you can use to shape your life. Why? Because self-reflection is how you pause, step back, and take a good, honest look at where you are and where you want to go. It's how you grow. It's how you learn. And it's how you align your actions with your purpose. Let's start with this. Life moves fast. We're constantly rushing from one thing to the next: work, errands, relationships, goals. It's easy to get caught up in the motion without ever stopping to ask, am I on the right path? That's where self-reflection comes in. It's your chance to pause and recalibrate, to make sure you're not just busy, but actually moving towards something meaningful. An unexamined life is not worth living. Socrates said that, and it's as true today as it was thousands of years ago. If you're not taking the time to examine your choices, your habits, and your progress, you're missing out on the opportunity to live with intention. Self-reflection isn't about beating yourself up or dwelling on mistakes. It's about awareness, being present with yourself and learning from your experiences. Now, you might be thinking, that sounds great, but I don't have time for self-reflection. Let me tell you, you don't have time not to do it. Just like you wouldn't drive a car without checking the fuel gauge, PS, you shouldn't go through life without checking in with yourself. Even 5 minutes a day can make a difference. The key is consistency, making it a habit. Self-reflection starts with asking yourself the right questions. And I mean the tough questions, the kind that make you pause and really think. What am I proud of today? What could I have done better? What are my goals, and am I taking steps to reach them? These questions help you focus not just on what you're doing, but on who you're becoming. Here's a practical way to do it. Keep a journal. I know writing in a journal might not sound exciting, but trust me, it's one of the best tools for self-reflection. When you put your thoughts on paper, you gain clarity. You see patterns. You notice what's working and what's not. And over time, you create a record of your growth, a reminder of how far you've come. Another powerful practice is setting aside time each week to reflect. It doesn't have to be complicated. Find a quiet place, maybe grab a cup of coffee or tea, and just sit with your thoughts. Think about your wins and challenges from the past week. Celebrate the progress you've made, no matter how small, and identify areas where you want to improve. Now, here's an important point. Self-reflection isn't just about looking backward. It's also about looking forward. Once you've evaluated where you are, think about where you want to go. What's your next step? What's one thing you can do today to move closer to your goals? Self-reflection is about creating a bridge between your present and your future. One of the greatest benefits of self-reflection is that it helps you align your life with your values. When you take the time to reflect, you're less likely to get caught up in distractions or activities that don't really matter to you. You become more intentional, more focused, and more in control of your choices. That's how you build a life that's meaningful and fulfilling. But let's be honest, self-reflection can be uncomfortable. Sometimes it forces you to confront things you'd rather avoid, like habits that aren't serving you or areas where you've fallen short. That's okay. Growth is uncomfortable. It's supposed to be. The important thing is to approach self-reflection with kindness and curiosity. You're not perfect, and you don't have to be. The goal isn't perfection, it's progress. We do not learn from experience, we learn from reflecting on experience. That's a quote from John Dewey, and it's a powerful reminder. Life is full of lessons, but you only absorb them if you take the time to reflect. Every mistake, every success, every challenge, they're all opportunities to learn and grow. But you have to be willing to pause and look for the lessons. Self-reflection also strengthens your emotional resilience. When you understand your thoughts and feelings, you're better equipped to handle challenges. You can identify triggers, manage stress, and respond to situations with clarity instead of reacting impulsively. It's like building a toolkit for navigating life's ups and downs. Let me share a tip. Don't just reflect on your actions, reflect on your mindset too. Ask yourself, what beliefs are driving my choices? Are they empowering me? Or are they holding me back? Your mindset shapes your reality, so it's worth examining regularly. And here's the thing, self-reflection isn't a one-time activity. It's a lifelong practice. You're constantly evolving, and so are your goals, values, and priorities. That's why it's important to make self-reflection a regular part of your life. It keeps you grounded, focused, and connected to what truly matters. So how do you start? Simple. Set aside a few minutes today, yes, and reflect. Think about your day, your goals, and your actions. Be honest with yourself, but also be kind. Look for the lessons, celebrate your progress, and commit to taking one small step forward. Self-reflection is like shining a light on your path. It helps you see where you are, where you're going, and how to get there. It's not always easy, but it's always worth it. So take the time to reflect. Your future self will thank you for it. Number 8, continuous learning. The world is always changing, and if you're not learning, you're falling behind. To stay relevant, to grow, to reach your full potential, you have to keep adding to your knowledge and skills. Learning isn't something that stops when you leave school. It's a lifelong journey. And the good news is, the more you learn, the more equipped you become to create the life you want. Here's something to think about. The person you are today is a reflection of what you've learned so far. And the person you'll be tomorrow depends on what you're willing to learn now. Learning isn't just about gathering information, it's about transforming yourself. It's about expanding your mind, developing new perspectives, and discovering your untapped potential. There's a quote I love: "Once you stop learning, you start dying." That's from Albert Einstein. It's a powerful reminder that learning is about staying alive to new opportunities, ideas, and ways of thinking. The moment you decide there's nothing more for you to learn, you've closed the door on growth. Let's break this down. Continuous learning is more than just reading a book or taking a course. It's a mindset. It's about staying curious, asking questions, and seeking out knowledge wherever you can find it. It's about being open to new experiences and willing to challenge your assumptions. And it's about applying what you learn to make your life better. One of the best ways to embrace continuous learning is to make it a daily habit. Start small. Maybe you read for 15 minutes every morning or listen to a podcast during your commute. Maybe you set aside time in the evening to explore a topic that interests you. The key is consistency. It's not about cramming everything in at once. It's about learning a little bit every day. And don't just stick to topics you're already familiar with. Push yourself to explore new areas. If you're into technology, learn about history. If you're a business person, dive into the arts. When you diversify your learning, you not only gain knowledge, but also develop creativity and adaptability. You start connecting dots in ways you never thought possible. Now, I want to emphasize something important. Continuous learning isn't just about consuming information. It's about practicing what you learn. If you read about time management, apply the strategies to your schedule. If you learn a new skill, use it in your work or personal projects. Knowledge is only powerful when you put it into action. Here's another tip. Surround yourself with people who inspire you to learn. Engage in conversations with those who challenge your thinking and introduce you to new ideas. Join communities or groups that share your interests. When you're in an environment of growth, it becomes easier to stay motivated and curious. And let's not forget about the role of failure in learning. Every mistake you make is an opportunity to grow. Don't shy away from challenges because you're afraid of failing. Instead, embrace them as learning experiences. Ask yourself, what can I take away from this? How can I do better next time? The lessons you gain from failure are often the most valuable. The digital age has made continuous learning more accessible than ever. You have endless resources at your fingertips: online courses, audiobooks, videos, forums. Take advantage of them. Learn a new language, pick up a hobby, dive into a topic you've always been curious about. There's no excuse not to learn when the world is literally at your fingertips. And don't underestimate the power of reflection in the learning process. At the end of each day, take a moment to think about what you've learned. What new insights did you gain? How did you grow? Reflection helps solidify your learning and gives you clarity on how to move forward. One of the most inspiring things about continuous learning is that it builds confidence. The more you know, the more capable you feel. And that confidence spills over into every area of your life: your career, your relationships, your personal goals. It's a cycle. Learning leads to growth. Growth leads to confidence. And confidence leads to more opportunities for learning. Now, you might be wondering, where do I start? Start with something that excites you. What have you always wanted to learn but never made time for? Or think about a skill that could help you in your current situation. Whether it's improving your communication, learning to code, or understanding personal finance, pick one thing and dive in. And here's the beautiful thing about learning: it doesn't have to be formal. Life itself is a classroom. Every interaction, every challenge, every moment is an opportunity to learn. Pay attention. Be curious. Ask questions. You'll be amazed at how much you can learn just by being present and engaged with the world around you. Remember this: learning is an investment in yourself. It's one of the few things in life that no one can take away from you. The time, energy, and effort you put into learning will pay off in ways you can't even imagine. It will open doors, create opportunities, and empower you to live your best life. So commit to being a lifelong learner. Stay curious. Stay open. Keep growing. Because the moment you decide to stop learning is the moment you stop living fully. Make the choice today to embrace continuous learning and watch how it transforms your life. Number 9, stay inspired. You know, life has a way of throwing challenges at us. There are days when it feels like the weight of the world is pressing down, and our energy, our motivation, and our drive start to waver. That's why staying inspired isn't just important, it's essential. Inspiration fuels our actions, keeps us focused on our dreams, and helps us push through the tough times. First, let's clear something up. Inspiration isn't something that magically appears. You don't sit around waiting for it to strike like lightning. It's something you actively cultivate. Staying inspired is a habit, just like exercising or eating right. It's about feeding your mind and soul with the things that lift you up, that remind you of why you're doing what you're doing. Now, how do you do that? Let's start with your why. Why do you get up in the morning? Why do you chase your goals? Why do you want the life you're working so hard to create? When you're clear on your why, inspiration becomes a lot easier to hold on to. Take some time to reflect on this. Maybe it's for your family, your dreams, or the impact you want to leave on the world. Keep your why front and center. It's your anchor. Here's a simple truth. What you surround yourself with shapes your mindset. If you want to stay inspired, surround yourself with things and people that lift you up. Read books by people who have achieved what you're striving for. Listen to podcasts that spark new ideas. Watch videos that get your blood pumping. And most importantly, spend time with people who believe in you and challenge you to grow. You've heard this before. You're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. That's a quote I've lived by. If you're around people who are constantly negative, it's going to drag you down. But if you surround yourself with go-getters, dreamers, and achievers, their energy and drive will rub off on you. So take a good look at your circle. Are they inspiring you, or are they holding you back? Another way to stay inspired is to celebrate progress, no matter how small. Every little step forward is proof that you're capable, that you're moving closer to your goals. Take a moment to appreciate your efforts and the ground you've covered. It's easy to get caught up in what you haven't achieved yet, but don't forget to honor the wins along the way. Let's talk about gratitude for a moment. When you're feeling stuck or uninspired, take a step back and think about what you're grateful for. Gratitude has a way of shifting your focus from what's missing to what's already amazing in your life. And when you're in that positive mindset, inspiration flows more freely. Now, I want to share something that works wonders for me. Keep a journal. Write down your thoughts, your dreams, your challenges, and your victories. It's not just a way to clear your mind, it's a record of your journey. On days when you're feeling low, you can look back and see how far you've come. You'll be reminded of your strength, your resilience, and your purpose. Here's another tip. Find a role model or a mentor. Look for someone who's done what you want to do, someone whose story inspires you. Study their journey, learn from their struggles, and draw strength from their successes. When you see what's possible, it fuels your own belief in what you can achieve. Don't underestimate the power of visualization. Spend a few minutes each day imagining your ideal future. Picture the life you're working toward in vivid detail. What does it look like? What does it feel like? When you can see it clearly in your mind, it becomes real to you. It becomes something worth fighting for, no matter what obstacles come your way. And here's a practical idea. Create an inspiration board or a vision board. Fill it with quotes, images, and reminders of your goals and dreams. Place it somewhere you'll see every day. It's a simple yet powerful way to keep your focus sharp and your motivation high. Remember, staying inspired isn't just about thinking big. It's also about taking action. Inspiration thrives on momentum. The more you do, the more inspired you feel. Even on tough days, do anything that moves you forward. Action fuels inspiration, and inspiration fuels action. It's a cycle that keeps you moving toward your goals. Finally, remind yourself that inspiration is everywhere if you're willing to look for it. It's in nature, in art, in conversations, in challenges, and even in setbacks. Keep your eyes open, your heart open, and your mind open. When you're tuned in to the world around you, you'll find inspiration in the most unexpected places. Here's a quote to leave you with. Inspiration exists, but it has to find you working. That's from Pablo Picasso. It's a reminder that while inspiration is essential, it's up to you to create the conditions for it to thrive. So stay curious, stay grateful, stay connected to your why, and keep moving forward. Inspiration isn't a one-time event, it's a way of life. Make it yours. Number 10, actionable goals. When it comes to achieving success, dreaming big is great. But here's the thing, you can dream all day long. And if there's no action plan, those dreams will stay just that, dreams. Actionable goals are what turn those dreams into reality. First, let's define what an actionable goal is. It's not some vague idea like I want to be successful or I want to be happy. Those are great visions, but they're not goals. An actionable goal is clear, specific, and tied to a plan. It answers the question, What exactly do I need to do next? For instance, instead of saying I want to get in shape, an actionable goal would be, I will go to the gym 3 times a week for 45 minutes. See the difference? The first one is an idea, the second one is a step you can actually take. Here's where most people get stuck. They set big goals, but they don't break them down. Big goals are inspiring, but they can also feel overwhelming. That's why you need to chunk them down into smaller, manageable steps. Let's say your goal is to start your own business. That's a fantastic dream, but it's too broad to act on right away. So break it down. Research your industry. Write a business plan. Save money. Or even start networking with people in the field. Each step brings you closer to the bigger picture. Let's get practical. Every goal should follow the SMART framework: specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. This isn't just a buzzword. It's a proven way to create goals that work. For example, instead of saying, I want to earn more money, a SMART goal would be, I will earn an additional $500 this month by freelancing for 10 hours a week. It's clear, it's measurable, and it's tied to a timeline. One key to making your goals actionable is writing them down. There's something powerful about putting pen to paper. It takes your thoughts and makes them tangible. Studies show that people who write down their goals are more likely to achieve them. So, grab a notebook, a journal, or even a sticky note, and make it a habit to jot down what you're aiming for and the steps to get there. Here's another tip: prioritize your goals. Not all goals are created equal, and trying to tackle everything at once is a recipe for burnout. Ask yourself, what's the most important thing I need to focus on right now? Work on that first. Once you've made progress or achieved it, move on to the next priority. Focus creates results. Now let's talk about the power of deadlines. A goal without a deadline is just wishful thinking. Deadlines give your goals urgency. They push you to act. If you say, I'll start next week, that week turns into next month, and suddenly you're no closer to your dream. Instead, say, by Friday, I'll complete step 1 of my plan. When you set a deadline, you're holding yourself accountable. Accountability is another game changer. Share your goals with someone you trust, a friend, a mentor, or a coach. Let them know what you're working on and when you plan to achieve it. They don't have to nag you, but just knowing someone else is aware of your goals can keep you on track. It's like having a personal cheerleader and a reality check rolled into one. Sometimes, despite all the planning, you might stumble. That's okay. Failure isn't the opposite of success, it's part of the process. What matters is how you respond. When you hit a setback, don't give up. Recess, adjust your plan, and keep moving. Remember, progress isn't always a straight line. Let me share a quote with you. You don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. That's from Zig Ziglar, and it's a reminder that action beats perfection every time. But don't wait until everything is perfect to start working on your goals. Start with what you have where you are, and make adjustments as you go. The act of starting creates momentum, and momentum creates results. Visualization can also play a huge role in achieving your goals. Take a few moments each day to picture yourself reaching your goal. See it, feel it, and believe it. This isn't just daydreaming, it's a way to train your mind to focus on success. When you visualize your goals, they feel more real, and that drives you to act. Another important point, review your goals regularly. Life changes, and so do our priorities. What mattered 6 months ago might not matter as much today. Set aside time, maybe once a month, to check in with your goals. Are they still relevant? Are you making progress? If something needs to change, adjust it. Flexibility doesn't mean giving up, it means staying aligned with what truly matters to you. Finally, celebrate your wins, big or small. Reaching a goal is a moment worth savoring. It reminds you of your capability and fuels your motivation for the next challenge. Whether it's treating yourself to something nice, sharing your success with loved ones, or simply taking a moment to reflect, don't skip this step. It's a way to honor your hard work and keep the momentum going. Actionable goals are the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. They're the steps that turn dreams into achievements. So start now. Write down your goals, make them actionable, and take that first step. As I always say, discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. Build that bridge, and you'll be amazed at where it takes you.